Hello, Leo. Welcome to your timeless reading. If this message resonates or you find it helpful, then it's for you. And if not, no worries at all. Just leave it for someone else or return to it at a later time. Also, be sure to check out the description box for some journal prompts that I will leave you based on this reading. Okay, let's jump right into your pre-shuffled oracle card and then we'll clarify together with tarot. So the oracle deck that wanted to come out to play with your energy today is the Magical Botanical Oracle. So every single card is a plant. And the plant that has come forward to work with you right now is belladonna. There is a lot of detail in this card. I don't know how much exactly you're going to be able to pick up. It's really, really beautiful. So there's a woman standing in a threshold, basically under like an archway at the top of some stairs. And she's just shrouded in all of these magical symbols and plants. So I'm just going to read briefly a bit of the description from the guidebook to you because I really want to honor the actual energy of this plant, and then I'll tell you what I'm picking up on intuitively. So, deadly nightshade is one of the most fascinating of the baneful plants of the witch, earning the name Beautiful Lady or Belladonna. Once you see the large, dark berries known as the devil's cherries shining like little black spheres of obsidian, and her crooked stems of hanging bell-like flowers, you will never forget her again. So it is a poison, okay? When this card appears in a reading, Belladonna opens a gateway into a new realm, a new breakthrough, though she also acts as guardian of the gateway, asking if you are truly ready to step through to the other side and leave what attachments no longer serve, cutting their cords. Each step towards her, towards the gate, is a deepening of your commitment to your spirit. Belladonna in Shadow asks, what spell are you under? What has enchanted you or distracted you? What might be toxic to you, but you haven't realized it yet? What messages from spirit are right there, but being ignored by you? And then the affirmation is, I see the truth through any illusions. Okay. There's so much about this plant energy, as well as the way that it's depicted in this card, that is reminiscent of the High Priestess in tarot. So what I feel intuitively when I look at this card and I channel through it is that you are on a threshold, on the threshold of initiation. I keep hearing the word initiation and also rite of passage. Okay, it feels almost like an initiation into more of the feminine mysteries. It's like the High Priestess herself is going to initiate you in some way. There's a calling, there's a beckoning for you to go deeper within yourself, deeper within your own mysteries, your feminine energies, and your darkness, right? The dark feminine. Because again, this plant is technically a poison. So there's a lot to unravel here, and the energy coming forward for you is highly shrouded in mystery. It's very evocative, and it is a calling. Spirit is calling you into this initiation. Spirit is saying, cross that threshold into your own darkness. And darkness meaning your power. Not darkness as in like a shadow that is full of like pain or a dysfunction or something like that. No, like the beauty of your own darkness, right? Interesting. Okay, so let's jump into tarot. I'm using the Aquarian tarot for you. Just show me the collective of Leo, please. Show me the collective of Leo right now, please. Show me the general energy of the collective of Leo at this time, please. King of Pentacles. King of Swords. And the Lovers. And it's interesting that the two kings are facing the two kings are facing each other. And of course, in a Lover's card, there's two people facing each other. Interesting. Well, this is a whole lot of masculine energy, right? So maybe you feel at this time like you've kind of taken your own masculine energy, and of course it doesn't matter how you identify, we all have both masculine and feminine energy. You've taken your own masculine energy as far as you can at this time. Maybe you kind of have swung the pendulum into a more masculine embodiment for a certain amount of time. And now the pendulum needs to swing to the other side, and you need to sink more deeply into a feminine embodiment, explore your own feminine nature, and unify the masculine and feminine within you. And maybe ultimately, from an even bigger picture perspective, end the pendulum swing between masculine and feminine. So what I mean when I say a more masculine energy is very active, proactive, very practical, and very objective, logical, sort of mind-oriented, physical, external-oriented, action-oriented, driven, forceful even. There's light and shadow to it, right? Etc. That has taken you far, probably, but it can only take you so far. And so now the pendulum needs to swing, and it's time to pull in, deepen into, and pull in that feminine embodiment, and ultimately unify the two. Like I was saying, kind of pendulum swinging between anything is not usually ideal. You kind of want to be ultimately in this center point. You know, if you imagine the lemniscat, that infinity symbol, the ideal place to be is at that center point in the middle, where you have access to both at all times, where you are both and therefore neither at all times. So you're really focused on self-unification and self-love right now, being all of who you are all the time, rather than part of who you are all the time, right? Interesting. Okay, what's the primary challenge that Leo's facing? Yeah, what's the primary challenge that Leo's facing right now? Six of Cups. Eight of Wands, Ace of Wands, and Eight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Huh. I think it would be very easy for you to stay where you are. Even though it may not be totally comfortable or ideal, the feeling that I'm getting when I look at all these cards together is that it would be easy for you to stay running on autopilot. And oh, I was going to say, it's like being lulled. It's easy for you to be lulled into staying in this more masculine embodiment and just keep on keeping on, right? Like the Eight of Pentacles in a more shadowy state, and it's in shadow. It was at the bottom of the deck, so that means it's in shadow. It's kind of like using work to avoid something, right? Being a workaholic and using work as a distraction to avoid something. So yeah, the sense of like this lulled sense of just staying where you are. And one of the questions in the guidebook here, the shadow divination meeting for Belladonna, she asks, what spell are you under? What has enchanted you or distracted you? What might be toxic, but you haven't realized it yet? Yeah, what spell are you under? Okay. That's exactly what these cards are showing. Being under the spell. It's almost like the illusion of progress. Because the masculine has taken you so far, and being in a more masculine embodiment has created progress in your life, you might fall under the illusion that if you just keep doing what you've been doing, then progress will continue as it has. But it won't. It won't. You can't operate solely from masculine energy forever and be successful or happy or whole, right? Okay, so where did my deck go? Oh, it's right here. So how can Leo break the spell, let's say? How can Leo break the spell or break this illusion? How can Leo support themselves in breaking out of the familiar, breaking out of the familiar, breaking out of autopilot, and choosing to walk through this gateway into the feminine? How can Leo support themselves at this time? What do they need to know or do? Well, and I would also have to say, because you could potentially be lulled into staying where you are and continue doing what you're doing, there's probably, for a lot of you, some kind of resistance to embodying more femininity or exploring your own dark feminine, weaving the feminine into the picture in a much more substantial way. So definitely go into that. Like, what negative projections do you hold around feminine energy in general? What are you afraid will happen if you maybe slow down? And take the time to explore your feminine energy? What is that resistance? Okay, what does Leo need to know or do at this time? What is the advice, Spirit? Three of Wands. Judgment. The Magician. And yeah, Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Mm. Okay, so I'm hearing look to the future and almost like expand or elevate your own vision for your future, because ultimately you don't want to just keep doing what you've been doing. You're not, you're happy with a certain degree of progress that you've made, but if you never expand beyond where you are now, you're not going to be happy, right? You want more growth. You do want more progress, more expansion, more growth. If you may be happy with where you are now today, but if you're in literally the same exact spot today, if you're in literally the same exact spot in 5 years as you are today, you wouldn't be happy with it. You know what I mean? So it's like, think about your future self. Think about your future and your future self and what that future you wants to experience. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? And so, and in that more elevated big picture perspective, it'll be clear that in order to answer to that bigger, brighter future, you have to deepen into, I'm hearing, the reservoirs of your own power and become that magician. You see the lemniscat above his head? I was talking about the lemniscat earlier. Become that conduit. The magician is a conduit for source energy, for life force energy. The magician has mastered the ability to be that open, feminine, receptive channel, just pure potential energy, open, right? Combined with the ability to physically act on the energy moving through him. It's this beautiful, woven dance between the masculine and the feminine. To embody your highest potential, you have to be both all the time. Okay. And the Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck being in shadow, that just completely reiterates what was coming through the Eight of Pentacles in shadow. I'm hearing just give yourself a break if you can. And I know you can't just necessarily stop working. If you work for someone else, especially, you can't just not go to work. But in any way that you can, I'm hearing, like, make space to play with and deepen into this feminine initiation. This is very interesting. I hope that this makes sense. I hope that it's helpful and it finds whoever it's meant to. Be sure to check out the journal prompts in the description box. Those will help you to deepen your introspection and your self-awareness even further. Leave any questions or comments down below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye.